True Talk Show with Ini Obot on Jesus House Radio. Let's have some true enlightening talk.
Io, did you have a news headline you'd like to share?
Yes, I did see something today in Mail Online about 154 children being under the age of 12 have been arrested for sex crimes including rape during the last year. So the fact that children under the age of 12 are involved in sex crimes, is a really big concern. And, what's happening with the parenting, what's happening with the children. Is it that this has always been and it's only just been highlighted?
What country?
Here in the UK.
Really?
And how do they define sex crimes?
Yes.
Ooh.
Is it showing pictures on phones? Is that a sex crime? Is that how they define it?
Well,
or
it hasn't
actually
been
assault. Isn't assault sexual assault?
Well, what they've got here is they didn't define it though, but they did say that a total of 154 children under the age of 12 and under arrested for sex crimes last year.
Yeah.
Police also held a total of 3,273 children under age 13 for serious crimes.
But hold on, are they being led by gangs? Because I know that they have been talking about in northern the UK, I'm not sure what town it is now. Rotherham, is it Rotherham?
No, yeah.
There were some gangs that were actually grooming these girls and so on. So would they be part of that statistic?
They wouldn't fall under this category because
so the children going out there by themselves?
These are actual children being involved, being the perpetrators
in sex crimes. Yeah,
in sex crimes.
The perpetrators. Yeah,
right,
that's different.
And the fact that they're under the age of 13, what's going on? How exposed are our children these days? So.
I mean, it's quite shocking because the access to information is alarming. Whereby it's the internet, mobile phones. Just even media, the whole kind of marketing aspect of it. So I think children, they're bombarded with so many images, and they're so confused as well as to what is right, what is wrong. My mom and dad are saying this, but then I'm going to school and it's acceptable to do this. It's acceptable to look a certain way because I see someone like Rihanna looking a certain way. I see someone like Beyonce looking a certain way. So what's going on? And I think it's such a difficult time in being a child. In this day and age, such a difficult time.
There's an over-sexualization of children.
Definitely.
Children are able to access any kind of information just by going online, and obviously without the right kind of support and guidance, children will find their way.
But something, even in innocent situations, children are introduced into these things.
Exploited.
Not really, I mean, look at when you, I remember being a child and in some situations, say, so who's your boyfriend? And already they're putting into your mind that you should have one, or that sort of lifestyle is the acceptable thing to do. So even in an innocent conversation, it starts to be, dripped into you.
So sometimes outside influences that even when parents and carers aren't really paying attention, some people have access to the children. If it could be other young people, it could be, young people slightly older than them, or just, exploiters outright.
So what then is the solution?
I was sorry to cut I was in a conference recently on child and children protection. Something like this came up, and from the information they gathered, it came out to be that some of these boys or whoever is the perpetrator kind of do these things in order to kind of belong, to show that they are matured enough to handle cases like this. And one of the reasons they gave is that some of the clothes the young girls wear gives them the message that they are ready, come and get me. So if you look at it at the other end, the boys are being accused of raping the girls, whereas they are saying is the way the girls are dressing
quite provocatively.
It's kind of inviting them to
really okay.
As much as that could be an argument, there is a role for, I don't know if it's whoever's raising the boys to put in them, a sense of right and wrong, and they need to have that from within them. So it doesn't matter what they're faced with, they need to be able to make the right decisions.
Definitely.
Because there are going to be loads and loads of challenges in life and temptations coming their way. And what they're going to do, blame it on someone else or blame it on...
Yeah, they need to take responsibility for their own actions. But I understand that the pull is there. It's a strong pull that's there. And yes, the boys need to take responsibility for their actions, but also the girls need to as well. Because I think long time ago, someone was saying, you see a policeman, you see a person in authority, they wear a uniform. You see someone else wearing a similar clothing, and you assume they imbibe what they're wearing. So a respected person wears maybe a suit and a tie, and someone who doesn't really value themselves wears something slightly different. But then, it doesn't give anybody a right to treat the person exactly. In a derogatory way.
I mean, it kind of takes me back to some of the old cases where, a woman might have been taken to court because she was a prostitute or was behaving in that way, and the judge would say, well, it's because of the way you dressed. And then the argument, from the feminists would be that, well, I have a right to dress the way I want, but that doesn't give you the right to do anything you want to just because you're thinking in that way. So I think that needs to be a sense of retraining our children into thinking differently, and the girls as well, that, this is what's going to, that's the way people are going to think. And I think that won't change, over and over time.
When I was growing up, my brother said something to me, and he said it just that one time, and it's been in my head ever since. It's something that's been with me, and I share whenever I get a chance, where he said, your liberties end where another person's rights begin.
Yeah.
So you don't just go to town because you want to. You need to know where to draw the line.
Yeah.
So if someone's got the right to be protected from violence, your liberties can't override that person.
Absolutely.
The True Talk Show with Ini Obot on Jesus House Radio. Let's have some true enlightening talk.